Hello, welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing today? I'm doing great. I've had a coffee and I had chocolate chip waffles and I'm feeling good. I don't know about you, but it seems like kind of overnight AI just kind of took over everything. Like no one was using it and now it's everywhere, and like everyone else, I started using it too. You know, I was writing a newsletter and I was talking about one of the books that I've recommended to you guys in the newsletter, and I was like, let's see what this thing can do. So I went to the AI, I was like, hey, write me a little summary of this book. And it did a pretty good job. Obviously, for the sake of copyright issues or whatever the legal issue it might be, I didn't copy the thing that it said word for word, but like it gave me some inspo, you know? And the more I had to do for me, the more I was kind of blown away at how well the AI was actually able to encapsulate like a holistic fitness perspective. Like my perspective on fitness is kind of what the different programs were drawing from, which I don't know if it just knows me and like my Google history and things that I've written online and pulls from that, or if it's just like it has synthesized all of the data on the internet and has concluded that I'm right. Whatever it may be, I was like, wow, like this is actually doing a very good job of what I do. And then I was like, am I even necessary anymore? Can the AI do a better job than a human at essentially coaching people with their fitness goals? So today that's the question that we're gonna be answering. Should you trust various AI platforms, software, I don't know, with your health and with your fitness goals? So I'm gonna give it a bunch of different prompts for a bunch of different things in the health and fitness space and review its answers. So I think I'll have it write me a couple fat loss programs. Maybe I'll see if it knows how to write a reverse dieting program. Might have it write a workout program or two. Let's see what it can do. So for this video, I'm gonna be using ChatGPT. This is not sponsored, obviously. So I think what we wanna start with is the start of the day, a morning routine. Let's see if it can write me like the healthiest morning routine ever that is going to optimize my energy and my mitochondrial health and my hormone health, and like let's say I want to like lose a little bit of fat as well. So what would a good prompt be? I need a morning routine that will take 90 minutes or less that will optimize my health. I want to lose some fat, but I mostly want to feel energized for the day and boost my mitochondrial health as much as possible. I want my morning routine to be optimized to improve longevity and make sure my hormones are healthy. Does not need to include food or breakfast, but it should include drinking coffee. Let's see what it has to say. What do you got for me, ChatGPT? Thank you. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Number 1, wake up at a consistent time. You guys know I'm already here for it. Like I'm all about that circadian rhythm consistency, especially on weekends. If you go to bed at like 10 p.m. every night on weekdays for work, but then you go to bed at like 2 a.m. on the weekends, you're essentially giving yourself 4 hours of jet lag. That's why you feel so horrible on Monday and like you need a cup of coffee to start your day, is because you literally like took a trip across the globe and back and your circadian rhythm is all out of whack. So I love this as the first one. Like this, fantastic. Good job, AI. Number 2, hydrate. Start your day by drinking a glass of water to rehydrate your body after a night's rest. You can add a squeeze of lemon for added benefits. The added lemon, questionable advice. Like there's nothing wrong with adding lemon, but like it doesn't really do anything for you. If it makes the water taste better, it makes you drink more water, then add the lemon. Sure. 3, movement and exercise. Engage in a combination of cardio and strength training to enhance fat loss, promote energy, support overall health. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise. This could be walking, jogging, blah, 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 blah. Good, I like that. When it comes to longevity and mitochondrial health and everything, obviously exercise is very good, and a combination of cardio and strength training is also going to be really good for that. The one thing that I would add here is that when it comes to cardio for mitochondrial health, HIIT is one of the best things that you can do. Cold shower, contrast shower, Oh boy. I like this. This is fun. This is good. Consider taking a cold shower, alternating between a hot and a cold shower to invigorate your body. There's a lot of research that demonstrates the longevity boosting benefits of both cold therapy and hot therapy, so like sauna. The number 6 is stretching or yoga. The order of this is now feeling a little bit weird to me. I don't know if I would wake up, immediately do my HIIT or strength training, and then do a couple of other things, and then stretch or yoga. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It kind of makes more sense to do a little bit of like mobility, stretchy stuff before you do a more intense workout, just to kind of get things moving and flowing, because you've been like comatose for 8 hours. Number 7, morning sunlight exposure. Guys, the AI's got this. Spend some time outdoors or near a window to get natural sunlight exposure, which helps regulate your circadian rhythm, yes, enhance mood, yes, and improve vitamin D levels. Morning sun isn't going to give you too much vitamin D. That'd be more optimal in the afternoon for like 20 minutes to get some good vitamin D, but sure. Number 8, coffee time. Enjoy a cup of coffee after completing your morning routine. It's interesting that it didn't comment on the potential longevity boosting effects of coffee, considering the context of what I gave it, because there are some compounds in coffee that can be very health promoting, but I do appreciate that it did say to be mindful of your caffeine intake and consider sensitivities that you might have, because while coffee can be very healthy for some people, for other people it might be way too much stimulation for their central nervous system and actually be a negative thing. So I like that it included that. So I actually sat down like a week or two ago and wrote out my ideal morning routine for when I come back home and can have a routine. So this is what mine was meditation for 5 minutes, cold plunge, get ready, like get dressed, and then coffee in the sun, and then stretch and mobility, and then walk for 10 minutes. I wasn't including my workout as part of my morning routine, so that isn't in there, but honestly, like, that's basically the same. Okay, morning routine, I think that was a success for the AI. Now I want to do another kind of health-related question, and I get a lot of clients coming to me that have hypothyroidism or like very kind of similar health issues. So I want to see what it will do if I ask it what I can do to improve my hypothyroidism symptoms and lose fat, because that I get that a lot as a trainer. So let's see what the AI can do with that. Let's say I have 20 pounds of fat that I want to lose. I currently work out 3 times per week and eat a relatively healthy diet, but I can't seem to lose weight. I have hypothyroidism, which makes fat loss difficult. Give me some tips for things I can do to improve my hypothyroidism symptoms so that I can feel healthier and lose weight in the process. I don't have as much faith in ChatGPT when it comes to this one. Okay, looking through this is very basic advice, which, you know, to be fair, it doesn't have any further information about me, but it's not even really something that I could tailor to myself if this were for me, right? Optimize thyroid medication, sure. Eat a balanced diet. Focus on consuming a balanced diet that includes lean proteins, healthy fats, complex carbs, variety of fruits and vegetables. Incorporate foods rich in iodine, selenium, and zinc, which are essential for thyroid health. So when it comes to hypothyroidism, there's actually a lot more that you can do with diet, especially if it's Hashimoto's disease. I've seen a lot of success with clients that have Hashimoto's hypothyroidism with an autoimmune protocol based diet or something similar to the autoimmune protocol, because that diet specifically is designed for people with autoimmunity. Also, I personally would really want to emphasize here that the less processed your diet is, the better it's going to be able to help your thyroid function. So not only having like a balanced diet where you're focusing on protein, fat, and carbs, but also making sure that those are coming from whole unprocessed food. Number 5, exercise regularly. Also good advice. I would say that with exercise, you should be a little bit more careful with hypothyroidism, just because it can be a lot easier to overdo it and cause extra stress on your body, and it doesn't seem like that was mentioned here. 6, avoid restrictive diets. That is good advice. 7, monitor nutrient intake. Good advice. 8, stay consistent. Consistency is key when it comes to weight loss. Good weight loss advice. Very generic, not super helpful weight loss advice, but it's good. Number 9, track your progress. Also very generic, not very helpful. So what we have here are not bad points. They're just in my opinion, not super helpful points. When I get a client that comes to me with some sort of health issue, whether it be hypothyroidism, PCOS, other types of autoimmunity, etc., my first focus is on helping them alleviate as many of those symptoms as possible and getting them to the healthiest place possible, and then thinking about weight loss, not trying to do those simultaneously. And then the healthier you can get, the easier it's going to be to ultimately lose the fat and keep it off. If you're trying to do both at the same time, like ChatGPT mentioned, restrictive diets, not great for hypothyroidism. So if you're trying to do restrictive diet and heal your hypothyroidism at the same time, that's gonna be really difficult because it's kind of conflicting. Okay, let's move on from like general health to exercise specifically. I wanted to write me a workout plan. Let's make it glute focused, because that's the most fun. I want to build my glutes. Write me a workout program that is 3 to 4 days per week to grow my glutes. Each day should have a different workout, and the workouts should all complement each other. I have access to all gym equipment, including resistance bands. The workout should be no more than 1 hour. It should include a variety of squat, hinge, and rotation exercises. Include a warm-up for each workout. I do not need instructions for how to perform the exercises. Let's see what it's got. Is it gonna help me build my glutes, or is it gonna give me a generic Instagram girl booty workout? Find out. It gave me 4 days. Day 1 is a squat emphasis day. Back squats, Bulgarian split squats, walking lunges, cable pull-throughs, which is not a squat emphasis, that's a hinge. Glute focused, hip abductions, also not squat emphasis. Day 2 is a hinge emphasis. We have deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, hip thrusts, kettlebell swings, resistance band, glute kickbacks. And then day 3 is rotation emphasis. Hip thrusts, that's not rotation. Single leg glute bridges, cable wood choppers, lateral band walks, cable rotational chops. Cable wood choppers are definitely more of a core exercise. I could see someone argue that there's like some amount of glute activation, but I wouldn't put them in a glute workout. And then optional additional glute workout for the 4th day. Let's see what this is, because if I were to program it and someone were to say, I want to do 3 to 4 days of glute training, I would say, okay, like you can't really do 4 days a week of intense glute training because that's gonna be way too much for your glutes. So let's make day 4 a resistance band base day so that it's lighter, you're activating the muscle, but you're not breaking down the muscle like you do with the heavier lifts. So it gave us squats or deadlifts, glute focused lunges, glute focused machine hip thrusts, cable pull-throughs, glute focused machine hip abduction. I feel like it just put glute focused in front of a bunch of regular exercises and called it a glute workout. Okay, so yeah, not what I would do for day 4. I think if someone were to consistently do all 4 days of this, it would be way too much glute work. Like there's just way too much volume in here. The other thing I would say here about the organization is I don't think it necessarily makes as much sense to do a squat day, a hinge day, and a rotation day. What I would foresee happening that would be less advantageous is, you know, you do your squats, your Bulgarian split squats, and then walking lunges. Are you kidding me? Like your legs are not going to be functional by the time you get to your walking lunges. You're not going to be able to lift as heavy with your walking lunges. Separate those onto different days. I think the exercise selection here, for the most part, is fine, but you're gonna get a lot more out of the bigger exercises if you're not doing them after other big exercises. Put different big exercises on different days that work the opposing muscle groups. So you could do barbell back squats and then Romanian deadlifts. And then on the other day, you could do Bulgarian split squats followed by deadlifts. So you're not doing multiple deadlifts or multiple squats in a row, you're alternating. And so you're less fatigued for each exercise, and so you're gonna get a lot more out of each exercise. And then when it comes to the warm-ups, every day it's glute bridges and clamshells. Honestly, this is a pretty bad warm-up. I would wanna see a much more comprehensive warm-up in order to prevent injury and optimize the efficacy of your workout. Alrighty, let's try a reverse diet. Actually, first, I'm curious. I want to ask it something about the metabolism and see what it can tell me. Explain the science of metabolic adaptation. What are the mechanisms the body uses to speed up the metabolism as a person eats more calories? Is it possible to gradually eat more calories and not gain excessive amounts of weight? If so, how? Oh my God, it's really going for it. it might actually be telling me how to reverse diet. Let's see. Okay. Metabolic adaptation, also known as adaptive thermogenesis, refers to the body's ability to adjust its energy expenditure in response to changes in calorie intake. Cool, good. When you consume more calories, your body can increase its metabolic rate to some extent to accommodate the increase in calorie intake. Yes. However, it's important to note that the extent and effectiveness of metabolic adaptation can vary among individuals. Also true. You cannot just keep increasing your calorie intake and expect your metabolism to keep increasing. At a certain point, you will top out and you will start gaining weight once you pass a certain threshold. So, mechanisms behind metabolic adaptation, according to ChatGPT, include NEAT, which is true. As you eat more, you do start to do more unconscious activities like fidgeting while you're talking. Also the thermic effect of food. Of course, if you're gonna eat more, you're gonna burn more calories, digesting the more calories. Hormonal regulation, this is a great one. I love that it highlighted this. Here it highlights leptin in particular, but here's the thing, is like all hormones are going to play a role in your metabolic rate because everything is connected. And to a certain extent, the amount you eat can impact your hormones. For example, if you are severely under-eating, your sex hormones are going to be adversely affected. Your estrogen, progesterone probably going to be a little out of balance. So as you increase your calorie intake, as you get out of that chronically deprived state, estrogen and progesterone also start to become more balanced, and thus your metabolism can speed up because your hormones start functioning properly. And then lastly, it says adaptive changes in RMR, which is just the energy expended at rest to maintain your like basic metabolic functions, or BMR. And this is great. I love that it touched on this. It doesn't go into detail. There are a lot of things within this that make a big impact, like the activity of your central nervous system, the amount of energy your organs consume, protein turnover. Like there's all kinds of things that are factors within this. Since I asked, if so, how, I guess I did already ask how to reverse diet, essentially, and it gave me kind of the answer, I guess. Here's what it says. To gradually eat more calories without excessive weight gain, you can consider the following strategies. 1. Focus on nutrient-dense foods. Choose whole unprocessed foods that are rich in nutrients and provide satiety. This can help you meet your calorie needs without excessive energy intake. That sentence itself doesn't make any sense, because if you're meeting your specific calorie needs, you won't have excessive energy intake. What it should say is it can help you meet your calorie needs without feeling hungry or restricted, because whole unprocessed foods are going to be more satiating. So that's actually a great tip for how to be able to eat less, not more. Number 2, gradually increase calorie intake. Instead of making drastic changes, slowly increase your calorie intake. That is essentially, yes, the backbones of how to reverse diet. 3, prioritize strength training. That is the second principle of reverse dieting. Slowly increase calorie intake, prioritize strength training. That's essentially, that's how to reverse diet. It says include both cardio and resistance training. This is not something I would necessarily recommend on a reverse diet, because cardio sends the opposite signal of strength training, so they kind of work against each other in the context of a reverse diet. So probably not the best advice. Number 5, monitor and adjust. Yes, that is essentially my third instruction for how to reverse diet, is increase your calorie intake, strength train, monitor what's happening, and adjust accordingly. Obviously, it doesn't really tell you here how to adjust or what to really look out for. That I cover in Reverse Dieting 101, the Metabolism Repair Manual, my course all about reverse dieting that actually is going to be available again in September. So if you're interested in that and you're not on the waitlist yet, make sure you sign up at reversedieting101.com. I basically take those 3 principles and expand them into about 300 pages worth of material, but in course form and in video form, and it's easily digestible, so don't let that scare you. But if these instructions are not enough, if you're like, okay, I get it, but like actually what do I do, then that's what the course is for. But as a general outline, it's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, so we did reverse dieting. Let's see if ChatGPT can help me lose fat. Again, the theoretical me, not like me specifically. Okay, let's give it some information. I'm 5'4" and 28% body fat. I want to lose 45 pounds. Don't know if those numbers would actually check out in a real life person. Let's just make it 25 pounds. Write me a workout and nutrition program to help me reach my goals. Okay, It does say consult with a registered dietitian or healthcare professional. Probably need to say that for legal purposes. Okay, so it says day 1, strength training, full body. Love it. I'm not gonna review the actual specific exercises, although these do look like good exercises. That's nice. Day 2, cardio and core. And it recommends doing HIIT, which actually I generally would not recommend cardio, but if you're gonna do cardio, HIIT is definitely the way to go because it's much more muscle sparing. Day 3, strength training, lower body. Day 4, cardio and upper body. Okay, here's where I would strike this out. It says moderate intensity, steady state cardio, such as jogging, swimming, etc. I would probably take it out and do HIIT, or just take it out in general because it doesn't really necessarily need to be there. So what you have here is a 4-day-a-week workout program. You're doing full body, lower body, upper body. I think that's you're kind of wasting day 2, honestly. Like I would not include an abs day in a weight loss program because your abs are such small muscles. Training them does not burn a lot of calories. Doing like Russian twists isn't even going to build your abdominal muscles to be able to see them under your fat. When it comes to fat loss specifically, this kind of ab day, it's a waste of time. If you're gonna do a 4-day split, I would probably do upper, lower, upper, lower. And then if you wanna add HIIT on one of those days or do a 5th day of just 15 minutes of HIIT, that would also be fine. Okay, let's look at the nutrition program. Based on your height and goal, general guideline would be to aim for around 1,500 to 1,800 calories. I really don't like that it just threw out a random number. It's probably not too far off, but that's also a very wide range, and it could potentially end up putting you in a huge calorie deficit depending on where you're starting. So probably for the average person, it would not be the worst thing, but for some people it could be really not great. The other general tips here it gives are not bad. Focus on whole nutrient-dense foods. You guys know I love that tip. Include protein in each meal. Aim for approximately 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This is more protein than necessarily necessary. It should be per pound of lean body mass for a more accurate assessment. Meal timing. Spread your meals out throughout the day. Consider incorporating small balanced snacks to maintain energy levels and avoid excessive hunger. That's a bad tip. In general, meal timing should be based around what makes you feel best. So if eating more small meals and snacks throughout the day does help you stay in your calorie deficit because you're eating more frequently, go for it. For a lot of people, that's not going to be the case. For me in particular, like if I'm trying to eat in a calorie deficit, I like to eat 2 meals a day so that my meals can be big, so that when I eat them, I feel full and satiated. It really depends on the person. I've seen clients on all ends of the spectrum, and meal timing itself doesn't really make a difference when it comes to fat loss, unless you're insulin resistant, in which case intermittent fasting may help you. But beyond that, it doesn't really matter when you eat, just how much you're eating. So that first one, I honestly think is pretty much as good as following random advice that you get online. It may help you lose some weight, but probably not in a super sustainable way. So let's try this again. Gonna change up the wording, see what else it can do. I need you to act as a personal trainer and health and fitness expert. Please design a 60-minute workout for me for back and biceps and include a little bit of abs as well. Why not? Just for funsies. I'm a 5'2" female who weighs 115 pounds. I work out daily. Please put all the workouts in a table format with an explanation of how to do each one and how many sets of each. So we have lat pull downs, seated rows. Then we have dumbbell curls, hammer curls, bicep curls, planks, bicycle crunches, and then a cool down. My one comment on this is generally if you want to train back and bis, you would do a little bit more back and a little bit less isolation for the biceps. Like it should be more back exercise heavy than bicep exercise heavy. So now let's ask it about the fat loss part. My goal is to lose at least 5 pounds of fat over a 3-month span. Can you develop me a plan to do that? Absolutely. To lose weight, you need to create a calorie deficit by burning more calories than you consume. This is objectively true. Here's a 3-month plan to help you achieve your goal of losing 5 pounds fat. Month 1, workout. Do the workouts. Also, do cardio. We talked about this. I don't recommend. Nutrition-wise, start by tracking your calorie intake and aim to reduce your calorie intake by 250 to 500 calories. Adult-lit, I'm 5'2", 115 pounds. Clearly my calorie intake is not super high. That's a small person, is me. I'm small. I haven't tracked my calories in months, But if I had to guess, I would say I'm probably eating around 2,100 calories. If I were to subtract 500 calories from that, I'd be at 1,600 calories. That's a huge calorie deficit. That's almost a 25% calorie deficit. Not very sustainable, not very healthy. Month 2, continue doing the workouts, increase weight, adding more reps, good. Additionally, add 1 more day of cardio exercise to your routine and incorporate HIIT. Okay, so we've added more cardio and HIIT. That's up from already lifting twice a week and doing cardio 3 times a week. That's a lot of exercise. Nutrition, continue tracking your calorie intake and aim to reduce it by another 230 to 500 calories. Guys, no. Oh my God, ChatGPT would kill me. It would literally kill me. If I went with the 500 calorie decreases, I'd be eating 1,100 calories, working out 6 days a week. No, I am going to become nutrient deprived. It is going to wreck my hormones, cause so much unnecessary stress on my body. Like, this is dangerous. Let's see what month 3 has in store for us. Workouts. Keep doing the strength training twice a week, change up the exercises, add more sets, okay, fine. Continue with 3 days of cardio per week, increase the frequency and intensity of HIIT workouts to twice a week.
At this point, I'm literally dead.
Nutrition. Continue tracking your calorie intake and aim to reduce by another 250 to 500 calories. I'm now eating 600 calories a day, y'all. Goodbye to all of my hormones. Goodbye to my sleep quality. Goodbye to my fingernail strength. Goodbye to all of my dopamine and serotonin. Stick to healthy whole foods and consider consulting a
Registered dietitian for personalized nutrition advice.
Yes, I would need one because I would literally be wasting away. Even if I were maintaining weight on 3,000 calories right now, this would have me cut down to 1,500 calories. Like, that's a 50% calorie deficit over the course of 3 months. That's dumb. That's stupid. That's insane. This is... I'm disappointed. Let's try this one more time. Give it a chance to redeem itself and give it a little bit more instruction. So I'm gonna ask it to make sure that its instructions are sustainable. They'll help me keep the fat off long term and help me prioritize my health in the process, because those should be the 3 things that you're really considering when you are either building your own fat loss program or finding a program elsewhere. I need you to write me a nutrition program for fat loss. I want to lose 60 pounds. I'm currently 35% body fat and want to be 25% body fat. I currently eat 2,700 calories per day on average. I need a program to tell me how many calories to eat and how much protein, fat, and carbs to eat per day. I want this program to be sustainable, prioritize long-term fat loss, and prioritize my health. Okay, step 1 is to determine your calorie intake. I literally told it. Then it says reduce your calorie intake by 15 to 20% to create a moderate calorie deficit. Honestly, this is like the biggest pitfall of using AI is unless you can kind of go back and forth with it, it's not going to be able to customize it to you. The calculator that I created for my Fat Loss 101 course, which we'll be relaunching in January, waitlist at fatloss101.com, the calculator that I created for that takes so much more into account than just your current calorie intake. It lets you pick a specific rate of weight loss. I give you advice on how to pick that rate of weight loss based on a lot of different factors so that you're really optimizing the size of your calorie deficit based on what your body needs. Okay, number 2, set your protein intake. Protein is essential for maintaining muscle mass and promoting satiety. So those are the 2 things. That's fantastic. Maintaining muscle mass is the important thing in the long-term fat loss, and promoting satiety is very important for the sustainability. So I'm glad they did that. Consume 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of target body weight. Okay, so it got it a lot closer this time. Your goal weight is a good approximation of your lean body mass. It's going to be a little bit higher, but it's pretty close. 3, distribute your macronutrients. Once protein is set, allocate the remaining calories to carbs and fats. Here's a general guideline. Carbs, aim for 45 to 55%. Fats, aim for 20 to 30%. Here's the thing, that's fine, but the truth, the science tells us that the distribution between carbs and fats really does not make a difference when it comes to fat loss if all other things are equal. If you feel better eating more fat, or if you just don't feel very good eating a lot of carbs, you don't need to do that for fat loss. Pay attention to portion sizes. I think that just means track your macros, and choose nutrient-dense whole foods, plenty of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, healthy fats, cool. Avoid, minimize sugar, processed foods, etc. That is good advice. Generally, the healthier your diet, the healthier your body, and the healthier your body, the easier it is to lose fat. So for an individual, it definitely comes down to finding that balance that doesn't make you feel so restricted that you want to just binge on everything, but making your diet as full of whole and processed foods as possible that you can optimize your health as much as possible on your fat loss journey. 5, stay hydrated. Cool. 6, meal planning and tracking. Consider meal planning and prepping. Track your foods. Yes, good. 7, consistency and flexibility. Consistency is key for sustainable fat loss, but allow for flexibility and occasional treats. Aim for a long-term approach rather than quick fixes or restrictive diets. Yes. Mwah, love it. 8, physical activity. Let's see what it says. While nutrition is crucial for fat loss, blah, 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 include a combination of cardio, strength training, and flexibility. Consult with a fitness professional. Again, don't necessarily recommend cardio. If you really want to do it, fine. I would change this to say prioritize strength training. If you want to add in HIIT, sure. Flexibility can also be a great addition to that. 9, regularly monitoring and making adjustments. Monitor your progress regularly. Focus on overall trends rather than daily fluctuations. Fantastic. If progress stalls, adjust your calorie intake or exercise routine gradually. Be patient, remember that sustainable fat loss takes time. Okay, last sentence, fantastic. If progress stalls, adjust your calorie intake or exercise routine. In Fat Loss 101, I have a whole lesson dedicated to what you do if you plateau. And what you want to be careful of is a false plateau, where your weight stops moving and you think you plateaued, and so you keep dropping calories every time that happens. And then you end up in a really unsustainable place because your weight loss stalled for 2 weeks and you dropped calories and you keep doing that, and now you're eating like half as much as you started with, when in reality those plateaus weren't really plateaus, there were just other things going on. So learning first to recognize what a real plateau is versus your weight on the scale just hasn't moved for like 2 or 3 weeks is really important in making sure you don't go from sustainable to unsustainable really quickly. So I think other than the obvious lack of individualization in the programs and notations on how to individualize the programs, which indicates that ChatGPT is not aware of the need to individualize things. Other than that, I think the big thing that I see missing from these fat loss programs is the periodization. And I've talked about this in my video all about, was it like the secret to lose fat or something, where I talk about how to do mini cut cycles is what I call them, where you go into calorie deficits and then you come out of a calorie deficit for like a maintenance week or 2, and you cycle in and out. And this really helps prevent the metabolic adaptation that it knows about apparently, so it should know about periodization. But using the process of mini cut cycles is going to really help avoid plateaus, so you don't have to keep dropping your calories every time your weight loss stalls, because you're going to see a lot more continual progress. Like the only program here that took into account metabolic adaptation is the one that kept dropping calories every month, because it knows your metabolism's going to adapt, right? So it just keeps dropping calories. That's not the healthy way to do it. It's not the sustainable way to do it. It's not the way to do it that's going to keep the fat off long term. So unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for me, because that means I still have a job, but unfortunately, I don't think ChatGPT is qualified to give health and fitness advice. If you guys like this video, let me know. I'd be happy to do it again. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does support me and my channel. I really genuinely appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends, your family, and your fitness buddies. If you want to see more of these videos, like, please make sure you share it, because if it gets more views, I'll know that people actually want to see this kind of content. You can check out more of my fitness content over here. To see future videos from me, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post a video, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!